again. Well, today we're on the road again, and we decided to stop at the Swigart Car Museum. And years ago, they had the Herbie the Love Bird car here. I wonder if it's still here. So we're going to go find out, and we're going to take you with us. So please follow us. Pretty flowers as we enter into the car museum.
His name?
No.
What's that?
It's the RCA Victrola dog, created by RCA to be their mascot.
Oh, wow.
And his name is Nipper.
Nipper.
Yes. A lot of people don't know that, but that's his name.
It's your guard dog.
There is a lot of really cool stuff in this museum. It is the world's largest collection of automobile emblems.
Wow.
This is the first automobile museum in America and possibly the world. Swigart started collecting automobiles back in the 1920s. And his passion led him to this, of course. But after about 10, 15 years being in the insurance business and buying cars, he ended up with about a dozen cars, and he needed a place for them. So he bought a mansion up in Huntington here, and he moved all 12 cars and parked them out on his front lawn, if you can imagine. His neighbors thinking, what is this guy? So his passion continued, of course, and his collection expanded up to, there's 150 cars in the collection. There's approximately, I think, 32 cars back here. There's a warehouse in Huntington that houses the rest of the cars.
Wow.
There's a lot of them. A little bit of information about the airplane. People miss the airplane often. They don't see it because they're looking around at everything else. I like to point these two things out: the dog, the plane, and the train. The airplane came from Mexico. William Swigart flew down to Mexico, and there were kids hammering, making models and things like that out of tin cans. And this one man was making a model. He said, could you make a model of the plane I flew in? And he said, yeah. So he made a model of the plane. This is the model. Swigart, William, had a crate built for it. And they couldn't fit the crate on the plane. If you can imagine, back in the day, it was probably the 30s, I would think. Anyway, this air conditioner didn't go on. Turn this thing on. Just excuse me 1 second. And there, it's okay. So anyway, he flew home with this airplane on his lap.
Oh, wow.
In the plane, because the crate wouldn't fit.
Oh.
So, if I remember this correctly, the train above here was donated. Okay. And the man that made it worked on the East Broad Top Railroad at the time. It's actually the Huntington Broad Top Mountain Railroad. And he retired, moved to Florida, and in Florida built this replica train from memory.
Oh, wow.
Now, he built the train with some specific things in mind about our region right here. Okay. If you notice, the first car is a water cart. I thought that was an oil car, but it's not. It's a water tanker, and that actually represents the amount of water that was brought into this area to build highways, especially the turnpike. Okay. Major highways and building turnpikes require a lot of water. The next car represents grain, especially corn, taken from this area. The next car represents livestock, particularly cattle. A lot of cattle come from Pennsylvania. And the last one represents the timber industry.
Oh,
So he had some very specific things in mind.
Yeah.
So, as you go through the museum, you go down through the cases here, you'll see a lot of signs just like this, barbershop mugs, explaining about the mugs. I understand William Swigart's shaving mug is in here. I'm not sure which one it is. The spittoons, you'll see the spittoons throughout the whole museum. Front of the cars, people think they're collecting oil. No, they are simply on display as conversation pieces. The brown ones the men use, the white ones the ladies use. Read the signs. Let me answer the phone and I'll be with you in a minute.
All right.
So I'm going to let you guys wander around and take your pictures. And take your time.
Thank
All
you.
right? There's a lot to see. Read. These are so informative. Okay.
Wow.
And everywhere you'll see a sign in front of a car.
Okay.
And that gives you way more information than I could ever give you. But there's a lot to be said. When you think about this, when you go through, William, okay, started everything, okay, but he inherited it, okay,
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing. These cars over here, okay, didn't exist. His son collected these.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Oh.
Take your time. You want to go through the museum this way? Go up through here. Right through here. Go through this door. Hang a right.
Okay.
And go around through the museum this way. Restrooms are back in that corner.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Take your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Put these cards here.
Yeah.
Here's a typewriter.
Okay.
Fascinating. Mm-hmm. Airplane. Trying to show you all the stuff that's in the case. Trying to show everybody what's in the cases.
Yeah.
a few more things.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
So that's a highway junkyard of the 301 in Dearborn, Michigan. Oops. Oh, look at that smell. An interesting picture from 1926 or something. I think that's the year. But this is Emmert, William's father. So a little resemblance, okay? He started the collection. He finished the collection.
Wow.
He's passed away. William has been passed
2000.
away in 2000 for 24 years, and his wife, Pat Swigart, has taken over curating the museum. But the museum is a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
Wow.
I want to show you something out
Okay.
here that you wouldn't miss unless I show you. This is just a bit of history I like to share with people, but it's my favorite piece of history. If you look up there, see the purple license plate with the number 1 on it?
Oh, okay.
It is the first antique license plate ever made
Oh, wow.
in this country. The reason that we got antique automobile license plates is because of William. William took the 1903 curved dash Oldsmobile out on the road one day to go to lunch, got pulled over by a police officer who wanted to write him a ticket. Told him that car's not legal to drive on the road. He said, "It's an antique." He said, "Well, you know, then you need to do something to get plates on it." So he happened to know Governor Leedy down in Harrisburg. He went down to Harrisburg, talked to the governor, told him his story. Says, you know, the governor said to him, "Well, why don't you go and create it? You know, and come back and show me what you got, and we'll go with it." So we went back to his design department, and he said, "I need you to create a license plate like this, antique automobile, make it whatever color it happened to be." It was purple that day, because they were changing their colors of license plates every day to make different colors every day, you know. So that happened to be 1 of 5.
Wow.
William got 1, the governor got 1, 3 of the governor's friends got the other 3.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
In this case right here are some really cool things. Excuse me. Back in the day, operating an automobile, you wore a metal badge as your driver's license.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So this you wore on your shirt, your belt, or your hat to operate an automobile. This happens to be William Swigart's driver's license. I think it's from 1953.
Oh, wow.
It's his original driver's license. So, as a security device, when you were traveling across country, staying in a hotel, motel, or a boarding house, whatever, they weren't always secure. They didn't always have locks on the door. So you get this and hang this on your doorknob. If somebody was coming in your room, this would ring and wake you up.
Huh.
Security device. Pretty neat, huh?
Wow.
So, this is one of my other favorite things to show. Any idea what that is?
Yeah.
It's a tire boot.
Oh, wow.
Made in Los Angeles, California in 1914. Yeah, I know I had the year right. But you put this on your tire, you know how thin the tires were back in the day, and you couldn't drive the car away.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
So you would lock your car with one of these, because it's really easy to steal a car.
Yeah.
All you had to do is crank it up. So, Volkswagen has flower vases in their car. It's not something new from the early 1900s. Cars were smelly, roads were even smellier with horses on them. So they would get a vase of flower, and William
Oh, wow.
told Pat that his mother, when they were going to go out in the car, would say, "William, go pick some flowers." And he'd go pick flowers for the vase in the car, which is kind of cool. So there's a lot of really cool hood ornaments in here. Some of them were actually steam caps. Some of them were just ornaments.
Oh, okay. So that Indian, what vehicle would that have been?
A Pontiac.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty neat. I think
Yeah.
some of those things that are in here are really, really cool. there's this guy right here. Your engine would overheat. You could fill water in this thing. Put that down, locked in place. I'm not going to lock it because I could break it.
Oh, okay.
But it's a radiator cap.
Oh, wow.
Really neat. I don't know why they stopped making stuff like that, because radiators aren't exposed anymore. So, the furniture you see here came from Methodist Church in Huntington.
Oh.
There's, I believe, 7 pieces to this piece of furniture.
Wow.
Okay.
Handmade, hand carved, and when we walk through the doorway over here, here's a sideboard table from the same piece of furniture.
Wow.
Hanging on the wall down there behind the board are
Oh.
2 mirrored pieces that go over the main piece.
Oh, wow.
There's also a coffee table and 2 hand-carved end tables that are in the collection. So now that I got you in this room, I like to start over here. This is my favorite car. This car right here, I like to start my tour when I have people and I get to talk to them. It's 1903 replica Oldsmobile. It is a replica because it was built to be a sales tool.
Oh.
Imagine a single stroke. One man could start this thing, ride it into town, okay? Entertain the kids. The parents would follow the kids. What's going on? What's that noise? Because they'd hear this thing coming down the street going, put, 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 put. And they probably never heard something like that before. They came running out. What's that? Guy'd blow the horn, honk, honk. Kids would cry. Parents would come out. Then he'd start the sales spiel. This car, 1903 curved dash, is the first curved dash automobile on the road in 1903. William used to love driving this car right over here.
Oh, wow.
This is the car. This is the car that William got stopped in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. Did you ever hear the song "My Merry Oldsmobile"?
Yeah.
And that's where this song came from this automobile. It was particularly this automobile. Now, I don't know if when you were kids, if you had pedal cars. Did you ever have pedal cars?
I don't think I did.
No, you never had pedal cars? My brother had a pedal car. He graduated to a go-kart eventually. But there's several pedal cars in the collection. And these cars started out being, back in the day, really inexpensive to buy. Up until you got into the 70s and the 80s, and they started building these things and adding all these things onto them, and it started getting in the price range of $500, $600, $700 for one of those things.
Wow.
Yeah. Now they have electric ones with batteries that the kids tool around it, which is kind of a neat thing. 1905 Rambler. If you notice the upholstery, okay, people said, we're going to drive in a car, we want to be comfortable. This car was designed with that comfort in mind because the chairs are like a love seat and upholstered in fine leather. That is original.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Car's been totally restored. It's an air-cooled 2-cylinder engine located under the front footboard, so it's close to them. You know, this is a chain drive, 1 pedal and a brake, go and stop. I always like the Studebaker electric. This vehicle has quite a history. Swigart's bought this vehicle for $38 at an auction.
Wow.
It sold for originally, I have to check my, $2,668 plus 10%. It has a set of 24 cell batteries in it. If you notice, there's 2 tillers, one on the right, one on the left, with seats opposite facing each other. Okay, one's facing that way, one's facing this way, because this vehicle was used in the tunnel between the Capitol building and the Senate. It's not a replica, it's the real deal. And there's only 2 of them. So, Swigart got one, Studebaker Museum got the other one. They're also named Tommy, and the other one's name is Peggy. So that's kind of cool. Peggy's been restored. So in order to operate this in the tunnel, people would climb on board. He'd ring the bell. I'm not going to climb up and ring the bell, but there's a pedal up there that you and it goes ding. I mean, it's really loud. It's like, everybody, sit down, we're going. And then he would move the tiller, and they'd move forward, and there's a brake handle, of course. And get to the other end, he'd switch seats to go the other way.
Oh.
That's it. So it was to and fro. They called it a to and fro because it just went forwards and backwards. It didn't have a whole lot of turning radius.
Wow.
So you couldn't really turn it around. The Mora Roadster run about 2 of these automobiles in existence today. This one and another one that's in, I can't remember the name of the museum. Anyway, forgive me. This is a 4-cylinder engine, okay? The other Mora is a 6-cylinder engine.
Oh, okay.
They wanted more power, a little bit of a faster, and they built it as a 4-seater also, so they felt it needed more power. The Overland became the Willys Company eventually. Okay, Willys came in and bought up the Overland Company and changed the name, creating the Willys. They also eventually started creating the Jeeps as time went on. These 3 vehicles, if you notice the similarity between them, okay, and closeness of years. If you notice 1909, 1910, 1911, and the similarity of the Roadster, okay. These vehicles were also known for racing back in the days, in the 1900s, 1910s. They would take the tops down, take the tops off. They could take the back seats out of this one in particular. They could do that with, and drive it around and race them. So that was probably an awful lot of fun. A little bit crazy, I would think, but
Somehow they started out with right-hand drive.
well, there was no rhyme or reason. There was no rule. There was no law. Did you know that there still isn't?
Wow.
There still isn't. Well, my mailman drives a right-hand drive vehicle.
Yeah.
And I've seen her driving at other places besides delivering mail. So, they're not illegal to drive. Today, to get one, you either have to order it from Europe or have it specially built. So,
Wow.
excuse me just a minute. I don't have a door.
Oh. Wow. This is awesome.
It is. Oh, I know.
Wonder who did that. This guy, he looks brilliant.
He's smart.
Yeah.
1910 brush. Wonder how to drive this one.
Here's Sears, the Sears Motor Buggy. Sears and Roebuck Company mail order catalog
Mail order catalog.
was found in every American home. The book frequently occupied a position of importance, second only to the Bible.
Wow.
Yeah. Something was made, was in the pages of the Sears catalog.
Well, how do you steer this one? Put it on.
Probably there's selectors over there.
Oh,
on the
yeah.
left. Oh, that's cool. Here's an electric vehicle. So they had some electric
1912.
back then. However, the early 1900s electric car was a common sight on American road because hand cranking a car was difficult at first. Okay. So they hit them in early years.
Yeah. 1913 Ford Model T pickup truck.
Yeah. The car, but not a tow. Model T Ford pickup truck. Wow.
It's a little dark, but here we can see.
Since I started with you guys, you have to come over here and I'll show you this car and I'll tell you a story about this car you're sitting here. First off, it's all wooden chassis, frame, and axles. This car will never, ever be moved from this spot.
Wow.
Look at the tires.
Oh, wow.
They can't be replaced. First car with four-wheel independent spring suspension. And there's springs on each tire. Okay? The Brush automobile was advertised as a very inexpensive car. I think it sold for $428. What happened was, there were two boys that were intrigued by this. And were like, wow, you know, this is really cool. Well, the World's Fair was going on in New York, and they happened to live in Ohio. And they made the trip from Ohio on horseback to New York to go to the World's Fair. When they got there, they saw this car, and they were like, wow, this is really cool. And they were talking to Brush, who built the car, and they were going to Washington, D.C., publicity stunt. Get the boys to drive the car to Washington, D.C. They called their dad in Ohio, who he drove out, went out to New York, met the boys up. When he got there, he went and bought an Overland, and the two boys, who were 10 and 6, drove the Brush automobile, and he followed them in the Overland to Washington, D.C. What a publicity stunt. It was said that the car was so simple to drive that even a child could drive it. And a child did.
Wow.
So there's some very interesting stories associated with some of the cars. I encourage you to read signs.
Oh, there is.
Take your time.
It is.
This is amazing. That it drove between the Capitol and the Senate building to transport people to and fro, just back and forth, and electric. You know, it's got a really loud bell. I went there and I But anyway, there's two of them. This is Tommy. The other one is Peg. And Pat Swigart just told me that the one that they have in the Studebaker Museum, they painted it yellow. I don't know why. They should have painted the pink. But anyway, so take your time.
And the mirrors are down here.
Yeah.
Some Derby down there.
Yeah. 1919 booster.
Oh, it's got the old inspection sticker.
Oh, yeah.
He talked about the paper license.
Mm-hmm.
My first permit was paper.
Was it?
Driver's permit.
Huh.
And then that changed shortly after that.
What's the other?
I like this.
Hmm. 1919 Pierce error.
Regular round headlights.
Yep. You need a regular camera.
What?
You need a regular camera. Yeah. Some of these cars you can squeeze in between, some you can't. Yeah. Bee-boo. This car here is the, slide up here. Somebody's grandfather? 1932 Plymouth. This car here is the
When she was a kid.
this car is 1960 Fiat.
Feel.
Yeah.
That's what they say in Jeep Compass is a feel.
Yeah. This is a fancy car. Why do you use bikes up here? I know. Can you imagine driving this car? Yeah. See, if you sit back this high, looking out the window, see the long hood. See, you're sitting about this high in the car.
Yeah.
$1936. 1936 Dunesburg. Squeeze in here. I can't imagine driving this car.
What?
I can't imagine driving this car.
There's a lot of these older ones like this.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
1937 Cord. Yeah. 1959 Ford Thunderbird. Hey, here's a Thunderbird. Thunderbird. We had a Thunderbird, but it wasn't this size. Probably. Try to get in there. Yeah.
1994.
$1965 Chevrolet Corvair. $1981 Back to the Future car. Hey, sir. Yeah. And Herbie the love bug is still here. Herbie ain't going nowhere. No big fire truck.
There's her.
Yep. Go stand beside Herbie.
What?
Go stand beside Herbie. Okay. He has.
And it's the actual car.
Yep.
Man.
Did you get the fire truck?
Yeah.
Let me go around you.
I got
How many of you watching this video like old cars, antique cars, car museums? I'm not sure that is.
Well, it must be Herbie. Look.
Oh. There's Herbie. He's famous.
Herbie rides again. It sits in the corner.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there's a little car.
Mm-hmm.
Down here. I hate that book. Herbie Gives a Wonderful World.
Oh, you have that book?
Uh-huh.
You still have it?
I don't think so. It's in a box.
Huh.
I remember that. I'll have to look.
Must be a puzzle.
I have a general idea where it's at. I'll have to look.
Corvette. 1948 Tucker.
Tuckers. Yeah. 48 Tucker.
A Man with a Dream. You can pause and read this if you want to. Wow, it's big inside. Got leg room. Have a lot of leg room in this one. There's a trunk in the front. Hey, the trunk is in the front.
Yeah, I seen that converter was in the back of it. Yeah. Wow.
This car has a lot of leg room.
This guy
1947
found a lot of,
Tucker.
like, downfalls, but he kept trying.
Yeah. Vince, the pedals are right here. It'd be kind of hard to drive with the pedals right there. There's 3 pedals, but it's like that's over in the middle.
Yeah, who the hell? Hell, they would have drove it. Yeah.
This movie is Tucker.
You ever see that movie?
No.
It's a really good movie. Tucker was a revolutionary in the automobile industry. What he did to cars was just amazing.
Okay, this car has a lot of leg room.
Not only that, it was the safest car ever built on a road
Wow.
back in the day. These cars over here, in the 40s and 30s, Fords and Plymouths and all that stuff, they were death traps. If you get in an accident in one, you're lucky if you live through it. The breaking glass alone could kill you. So they eventually developed safety glass. But they put wire in it, one manufacturer. The other one put cellulose in between 2 pieces of glass. That kept it from shattering and breaking. Which is cool. But he also built a safety box in the car, in the front. So if you were in an accident, you could get down in there and be safe. He also decided to put the engine in the back. Front automobile accidents were predominant, and engines, often so heavy, would be pushed in and crushed the occupants. It was pretty gruesome. So he put the engine in the back. The engines that he built his cars with came from a recommendation from Howard Hughes.
Oh, wow.
He met Howard Hughes with his son. They went up to Syracuse, New York. There was a company there that had been building helicopters during the war. Well, the war had ended, and they got stuck with all these engines. And they were air-cooled helicopter engines. It was like Howard Hughes told Preston Tucker about it. Preston Tucker went and met them, bought up all their engines, and that's what he built his cars with. So he was inventive, creative, and he had genius people working.
Wow.
First disc brakes. How about that? First disc brakes. Safety feature. A lot of safety features built into his car.
I
Wow.
think this one was
Fred Duesenberg he was the one that designed the car. He happened to be driving one coming back from a meeting in New York, and he was on his way back to Indiana, I believe it was, and he was out near Altoona out here and got in a car accident, rolled the car over twice, ended up in the hospital. His wife and his son came to be at the hospital with him, and he developed pneumonia and died from complications of pneumonia.
Wow.
Fred Duesenberg, designer of this car.
Wow.
But here's Jackie Coogan. The picture's not here. Okay, they took that away. All right, maybe it's behind here. Oh, no, took it away. You know who Jackie Coogan is? Munster? I mean, from Fester.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Jackie Coogan. He owned this car,
Oh.
and when he owned this car, he had the car completely restored.
Okay.
I mean, he had the money to do that, but you know, this car was actually built in a plant where they were building the cords. Now, if you notice, the bumpers are the same.
Okay.
Okay. The bodies came from Duesenberg design. The
Oh.
fenders from Cord. The bumpers from Cord. So they were building them in a Cord plant. It's only natural they'd use some of those parts. This is a one of a kind one. I asked Pat Swigart, what do you think that car is worth? She says, oh my gosh, it's priceless. She says, it depends on the person with the money and how much they want to spend. But none of the cars are for sale, so you know.
Oh.
So, yeah. Probably my favorite car might be this one. I don't know. It's such a cool car, you know. But the Cord, to me, you can actually, if you're careful, walk down here and look inside the car and see the inside of the dashboard of that car. I'll let you do that. Just don't touch anything.
All right.
Yes.
Oh wow.
We sometimes will dust cars, but that's about it. Now, when the Tucker was out on the line last year, he came in his car and handprints all over it. And I was like, where did they touch this car from there? We should be putting gloves. We're supposed to be having gloves come in for us. And I actually got to work on detailing that car.
Wow.
And the director came in and said, wow, so you did a really good job for an amateur. I was like, yeah, well, that's me. I'm a docent. I can tell you about the car, but so, you know. But they had people come in. The fire truck down there is a new addition. We just got it. Was donated by a local fire company. And this car right here is also donated. One-of-a-kind roadster, Ford 1937. This car has had 10 different automobile custom shops working on it.
Oh wow.
Throughout its build time. So it is a one-of-a-kind car. I went over when the car was here during our first day of training and orientation and all that this year, and I walked around the other side of the car and I went to put my hand on the car, and the director said, "No, don't touch that car." Okay, no problem. Out of my price range anyway. But really a neat car. It's actually featured on Street Rod magazine a couple times.
Okay.
A couple of hot rod type, magazines. They featured the car.
Oh,
So that's kind of neat. That's what makes it such a spectacle, I think, because it was featured in magazines.
Oh, right.
And then there's Herbie.
Oh, yeah.
They have Herbie on ice also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's up in the warehouse.
That's so cool. This is so neat.
It is.
Huh?
It is neat.
Yeah. And there's this one.
I guess on the guest book. Yeah. They're 26, I think.
26?
Yeah. this car stitched.
There's some bare feet. Oh, yeah. Cute to see two brothers making.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this tour of the Swigart Car Museum with all these fascinating cars. Even the Herbie Love car is still here. Come check it out. So if you like the video, hit like and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching.